All right, with us now is a great young guest. I'm so excited about this. He has a great project coming together for him in both New York and Los Angeles. He's got a Kickstarter fundraising campaign. So we've got to try to get the word out there, talk to your friends and supporters of the arts that are in the area. And this is really, really a really cool thing. And I want to welcome Jacob Jonas to the show. How are you, Jacob?
I'm doing so well, thank you.
Well, I want to jump right to it and explain to everybody a little bit about the Kickstarter campaign, but more importantly about the show itself and how it kind of came into fruition.
Yeah, so I competed in a competition last year. They're called the Capizio Ace Awards, and so what it is, it's a very prestigious choreographic competition that's held in New York City every year, and over 2,000 of the best choreographers in the nation submit for it, and only 16 are selected. And then from those 16, only 3 place, first, second, and third, and depending on your place is how much money you're given, but all 3 are given the opportunity to produce a full-length work in New York City the following year at the Alvin Ailey Citigroup Theater. And so fortunately I placed 3rd last year, and I'm getting ready to do this full-length work this summer. And then from this whole opportunity, I also launched my own company, and I'm also going to be premiering this show in Los Angeles for 2 nights as well. And so that's kind of the journey we're on.
Tell everybody a little bit about the group of amazing, talented performers that you have with you, and then a little bit about the show itself.
Yeah, so over the past few years, I've been creating a lot of independent work and really building a strong group of collaborative, like-minded artists. All former members of Cirque du Soleil, Pilobolus, Diablo Dance Theater. Some of them have won So You Think You Could Dance. They're all incredibly gifted, talented artists, and so they've been kind of on my team putting together this show with me. We're trying to raise about $15,000 to produce this show, and that's really the minimum cost to do it properly. But these costs are going towards lighting, costuming, flights, putting all the artists up while we're in New York, but mainly to really pay these artists. I mean, they've been donating their time thus far for the past year, which is ridiculous. But you know, dance is we're dependent on donations from the community. I mean, in any other medium of art, whether it be film, photography, singing, anything like that, they have a record label, they have a production company. Live dance is really based off of or dependent off of donations from the community. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now, just trying to raise money to produce this show right.
You mentioned Cirque. I know a lot of folks here, especially down in Florida, are really familiar with Cirque. We have different performances that come through nearly every month, and there's kind of a standalone show over in Orlando. So very people are very familiar with that. So is that a little bit of what folks would be able to expect with a show like this? They're going to see that kind of, really live action, really high energy sort of choreography going on?
I think as an audience member, you're going to find many parallels in terms of the physicality and the athleticism. The difference between the work I create and a typical Cirque du Soleil show is Cirque du Soleil finds acts. They find brilliant acts, and then they create a show from act to act to act and to act, making kind of putting a theme throughout the whole thing so that the transitions are smooth or whatever. With what I'm doing is I take the artists and I create a full show of emotional content, and it's not more about acts, but about the journey and the story throughout from start to finish. This show specifically is about competition and how society views the competitive nature of the everyday person. So man versus self. I mean, everybody wakes up and has their own problems with their self, trying to get through certain circumstances, relationships. There's man versus man, man versus nature, and then man versus time. And that could be time through evolution, whether it be, tribes and different teams, or it could be man versus time in the sense of you're better today than you were yesterday, and so that's kind of mathematically where the show is going. I think in terms of what an audience's expectation, there's a lot of similarities, yes.
It is Jacob Jonas, the company, JJTC. It's called In a Room on Broad Street. And, folks, it's a Kickstarter campaign to help really solidify this as being a great, amazing opening there in New York. Of course, they're going to have the premiere out in California. But we really have to try to get behind this. And even if it's only a few dollars, we've talked about Kickstarter several times on the show. And, there's different tiers of things that people can do. There's different, levels. And as you move along and you can donate more, there's different little perks and benefits that come along with that. Jacob, speak to a little bit about what some of those may be.
Yeah, so the different benefits are really under something we're really proud of is our process. We don't want to just share the final result. We really want to share the process. So part of the winnings is being able to have a Skype or come into a rehearsal and really understand the process. You're able to give us a Q&A and really get into who we are as individual artists as well as a company and ask as many questions as possible. We're offering tickets. We're offering classes and workshops within it. Financially, we're obviously not trying to lose too much money, but there's a lot of really interesting rewards. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but there's a lot of really amazing awards and opportunities on there. But yeah, I absolutely encourage you guys to go on and try to support us as best as possible and really keep this art form alive. Other countries, again, they're really supportive in the arts. Australia, Europe, Asia, Iceland, even Canada, they get a lot of government grants to keep these things going. But in the United States, we're really dependent off of donations by the community. So any help, just come on board and see the work we're up to. And I encourage you to get in contact with us and see the work we're doing.
Wise beyond his years, folks. Jacob Jonas is a young man with some very bold and amazing aspirations. And it's really starting. You've been into some interesting stuff. I was reading some of your bio here, and you kind of come from the whole skateboarding scene back when you were young, and it kind of got into street performing, that kind of thing. And tell us a little bit about that evolution and that sort of process for you.
Absolutely. I always tell people I love to put myself in situations where I'm the worst at something and try to become the best at it. And when I was younger, around 12 or 13, I had a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but, the family environment at home was, I guess, overwhelming. And being a teenager and wanting to explore my individuality, I'd skate down to Venice Beach from Santa Monica, and I met this group of street performers that taught me a lot and inspired me a lot about dancing, but it was more about the energy and things that you can't learn in a textbook there at school, just how to surround yourself with the right people and how to work really, really hard and commit to a certain thing. And so that's kind of what it turned into. And yeah, I found this group of amazing street performers. There was about, 8 of them, and they were anywhere between 25 and 40, and they were all incredible, and I haven't known how to do anything. And so I was at a position where I was the worst, and I wanted to become the best. And when I finally felt as an equal in the group, I was given the opportunity to tour the world with them and go to different festivals and things of that sort. But then that's kind of how I entered the ballet and classical style of dance route. And again, I started off as the worst, and I wanted to work myself to become the best. And I think a lot of it was through inspiration. I found a lot of artists that I was inspired by, and I think that's very prevalent in my work because I don't really care at all for great technique or kind of just having another body on stage. I'm really interested of who the dancer is as a human being and as an artist. And so, yeah, I think it was a lot of inspiration and story. I was very interested in people, and by that I wanted to become a better person. So to this day, I'm on YouTube and watching interviews of Daniel Day-Lewis and Mumford and Sons and all these people because I'm very curious of their art, yes, but more of who they are as human beings.
Well, that's a lot of what we try to explore here on the show and share with folks. And folks, you can check it out for yourself. We're going to get it up online. We'll have links to everything, of course, as always. JacobJonas.com. That's JacobJonas.com. We'll link to that, and you can find out more about him. And of course, we'll link to the Kickstarter campaign. You can make a donation there. You can contact them if you need to, find out more information about it, or maybe you know what, you're able to do it. You can go to New York, go to LA, and make a donation, get some tickets, and be able to get out there. So it's a great and amazing time for Jacob, and we're just privileged to be a part of it. And hopefully, if it's just one phone call, one donation, that'll make the difference for you, and that's what we're all about. So we appreciate you fitting us in, and it's great to get you know. Is there any other links or any other contact info that you have for us besides those two things?
Yeah, again, I'm so appreciative and thankful for you taking your time to do this. The best way, we have a website where the work is on there, and we update it pretty regularly, so you can see short films and things of that sort. If you go on YouTube and just type my name in, my girlfriend and I have been on a couple of reality shows and such like that, so if you type in Jacob and Jill, you can find a lot of our old videos if you're interested in kind of cruising around. But then, yeah, and then just get in touch, and we're posting photos and videos constantly. So any way you guys want to, get in touch or see the work, there's a lot of stuff out there. So
that's fantastic. That's what we'll do. All right, Jacob, hang on the line with us 1 second, and we appreciate you coming on with us.
Thank you so much, Brandon.